Hey guys, it's Tim. Pickup Truck plus SUV Talk. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. On this channel, you'll find truck and SUV news, reviews, and spy photos that I purchased or refined like these. You should hit subscribe, click the bell, smash the like button. We're talking trucks. In this case, talking a 2021 Ford F150. As we're well aware, the F150 is going to be redesigned this year. It's supposed to come out later this fall. COVID pending, all that kind of stuff. And we've been getting some leaks from some forums, and a little questionable because they keep getting all the latest leaks. So I don't know. We'll see who's leaking them at the end of the day. But anyways, we have some cool photos of the interior. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'll put them on the screen right now. Let's look at these photos. It's coming from F150gen14.com, a new website that has all these spy photos. It's kind of suspicious to me, but that's okay. We got the photos, so we see the much larger screen. There's no like scale. We can't figure out like how big it is, but it looks like it'd be about 11, 12-inch screen. The current screen's about 8 inches, so it kind of goes around that oval. Is kind of as far as it goes. We also see that their backup assist button is moved to the left of that screen. The push button start stop is left as well. So it's still in the same line, and that backup assist used to be down below. I'm going to show you a picture of the older Lariat interior in just a second. So we can see that it is a prototype. We have some duct tape and some tape over the side of the steering wheel, and we can see the gauge cluster. I have some more photos. I'll get to that in a second. On the bottom right-hand corner, we do have an AC 120-volt plug and a 12-volt plug. So dual plugs there, and we have a dedicated heated steering wheel button as well down in the cluster of different gauges. That's kind of new as well. So doesn't look like a whole lot else is new in that, just kind of that's the look. So this is the current Lariat, and you can see the differences. So you see the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive button is higher, and the trailer backup assist is down below, and you can see where that engine start stop button is. But you see in the newer one how that engine stop button is like raised up now. So it's a little bit down below, a little bit raised up. Okay, so some differences there, kind of flip back and forth a little bit. You can see some of the differences. So let's take a little closer look at this interior. We can see a little bit more of these buttons. We can see the steering wheel, heated steering wheel button there as well, and a drive mode button below the trailer breakup controller. So drive mode, I don't recall on the older one where that was. I want to say it was up in the left-hand corner. But so it looks like it's moved down lower there, a little bit closer to the right hand. Easier to use that button than up in the left-hand side, kind of on this side of the steering wheel. So if you kind of go back and forth, we can kind of see where that button is. So we kind of come back and they show us a picture of the shifter. The shifter is different. I still would like a gated shifter for the manual mode, but I wonder if that manual mode button there means it won't slide all the way back. So typically with the Ford shifters, I tend to slide it all the way back in the manual mode a lot until I figure out where exactly how far to slide back to get that drive mode. So that's kind of nice there. There's some buttons on this, and there's some speculation that people are saying that silver button right above the P button, the park setting, they're saying that that means the knob will lay flat and stay hidden. They give you more interior space. I don't know. Maybe. It's a very interesting speculation on that, so I'm not sure what the deal is on that. As we come around here, we can see the gauge cluster. It's a very bad photo of it, but you can see it's an all-digital gauge cluster. That's the biggest thing to notice, all digital. Coming around here, we see the big screen. You can see where it's a two-split screen, which is typical going on these days. You have like an 8-inch screen. On the right, you have the additional 4-inch screen there. There's speculation this was a Sync 3 system, not the Sync 4, but this is probably just prototype. I bet you the new system has a Sync 4 coming out with it. And then this is the Lariat package. You can kind of see that trim they're working on. Kind of interesting. It's got Ford on the button, or the rivets that hold it down. It's got Ford written on the rivets, and there's the interior. So let's go back to that big screen one more time. This is the main image to look at. It's pretty interesting. Kind of take a few seconds there. I'll leave this on the screen, like I said, for a few seconds, and we'll see what you pick out. It's different. It's definitely different. I like it. But it's a little bit different than what Ford's had in the past. All right, Car and Driver's got some additional details, which I think are kind of interesting. They're talking the same stuff we are. There's going to be electric truck. There'll be a Raptor versions. F-150, the redesigned F-150 will come out first. This was written on April 6, 2020. Now, there is one thing I want to point out in this story. I mean, everything's going to get improved materials. Lariat, Platinum, everything gets better materials. And they talk about the same engines I talked about earlier in another video. I'll link that video above. But right here, you can offer the first plug-in hybrid half-ton market. Now, this is going to be electric motor sandwiched between a turbo V6 and 10-speed auto. Electric range will probably exceed only 10 miles, but only when completely unladen. Now, you may be wondering, oh my gosh, 10 miles. Well, that's pretty similar to what other plug-in hybrid electric EVs are on the marketplace today. And I don't expect it to go even more. It's going to be really interesting to see whether that's going to go more than 10 miles and whether consumers want that. Ford is doubling down that they will want it, and they're cashing in on this investment with Rivian. They're going to use that same kind of electric truck in a couple more years too. So they're heading towards a plug. They're thinking the plug-in EV will be about 10 miles of range unladen, and then they'll do electric one in the future using Rivian's platform. That'll be fully electric, but it's going to be interesting to see whether that's going to get how much range you can have, and that's going to be independent rear suspension as well. So there you go. It's going to be pretty interesting what's going to change there. Now, they're also speculating that the Raptor will switch from leaf to coil springs and a live rear axle. Now, that's going to help for off-road ride. It's going to have a little more comfort, but you have a little less towing with the coil springs unless you do something like Ram does, where you do a 5-link suspension and put it all together. But leaf to coil will make a change there. And rumor has it that the 760 horsepower supercharged 5.2 liter V8 from Mustang Shelby GT500 could find its way into the hood. I've speculated on that before, and that's basically a straight fight with the Ram 1500 Rebel TRX, that they're going to try to really amp that up because the Rebel TRX is coming out and Ford wants to be competitive in that market. Do that with the supercharged 5.2 liter V8. Expect a pretty high price point. Okay, there you go. There are the interior photos we talked about on the screen, and I talked about that plug-in hybrid range. What do you think of that? I've not been a fan of plug-in hybrid EVs because the range is, well, so poor and the money you pay, and they don't make sense to me to plug it in to get 10 miles. Not a big fan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that bigger screen. I think it's definitely a cool direction they're heading, and I like the idea that it's horizontal, not vertical. That's going to be interesting to see what consumers want and how that evolves. For more Pickup Truck Plus SUV news, make sure you find us on pickuptrucktalk.com. Those 3 words work again on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Type it in. Trust me, we're there. Always a good time. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.